tried to blame it on Islam. He took the power to the...
Damn it, you got it. A much hotter Edgar Allan Poe. All right, that guy was not attractive. One eye going this way, one eye going that way. He was very drunk. All right, he was very drunk a lot of the time. He actually lived near where I lived at University of Virginia, except apparently he was so poor that he took all his university furniture and burned it in the fire. So they kicked him out. That wasn't a joke, it was just a fact. Now you have that in your brain, which is good. This is from the always amazing New York Times. The House of Representatives votes to recognize 1915 genocide of Armenians. They just got around to it. Just the other day, it occurred to them. You know, it is funny how when a nation falls out of favor, all of a sudden we're like, remember that genocide? We're gonna vote to recognize that all of a sudden. You better watch your ass, Italy, all right? Because, you know, you look at us the wrong way and suddenly Columbus seems a little surly, you know? Maybe he wasn't so woke after all. The House vote coming any day now on Columbus. All right, let's see. This is also New York Times. Australia proposes face scans for watching online pornography. Ooh. They want to scan your face to see if you're of age, which just sounds like a great idea. This is, who wouldn't love this? Who wouldn't love, even if you're an adult watching other consenting adults, who wouldn't love pictures of your face as you're watching your pornography? Just circulating the internet. It just looks like. Who wouldn't? I mean, and all of a sudden you can imagine Halloween masks of like Nixon are just gonna fly off the shelves. Because all of a sudden they're gonna be like, wow, Nixon is watching a lot of butt stuff. Okay, let's see. Keep going here. This is still New York Times. Erased by Rising Seas 2050. The New York Times has published maps of all of the cities that are going to disappear because of the water by 2050. I'm thinking of renaming the New York Times Just Noticed. I think that should be the new, because it's all the news that's fit to print 20 years later. You know, we just got around to realizing seas are rising around the world. Here's another headline. Third parties may face a tougher path to the ballot. Shock. Just noticed. How many years have third parties been crushed by our ruling system to make sure they can't be in our election system? New York Times, just noticed. Also, New York Times, I think probably not in this article, although I don't have time to read their shit. I think also in this article, probably not a mention of the fact that they help make sure third parties cannot get any traction in this country by never fucking mentioning them, never fucking mentioning what they're talking about, what they're covering. Except every once in a while, I think they call Jill Stein a Russian asset. That's the one thing they will help you with. This is USA Today, which for those of you, I just picked up recently. I haven't really looked at one in a while. It's a newspaper for children. It's really cool that we're now appealing to 6-year-olds with newspapers. I mean, honestly, it's fucking pathetic. This is the second page of USA Today this week. Holiday deals are underway for savvy shoppers. That's a headline and not a sponsored headline. This is not one of these little trick headlines. That's an article. Holiday deals for savvy shoppers. The title of the article should have been like, capitalism! Ah! Yay! All right, this is another USA Today. Trump is corrupting the Republican Party. The Republican Party, I've been meaning to talk to you guys about this, was just fucking awesome until Trump showed up. There was no corruption and Trump has fucked up the party. Have you noticed that? There was nothing wrong with the Republicans. Not racist, nothing. All right, last couple here, more New York Times. Oh, this is just another Venezuela hit piece. Cutbacks, disrepair, and bacteria plague Venezuela's water system. And then they talk about how bad Venezuela's economy is doing, maybe because of our fucking sanctions. Maybe because they can't sell their oil anywhere in the world now because of our fucking sanctions. New York Times failed to mention that. But stay tuned. 20 years from now. They're gonna fucking nail it, all right? And the House will take a vote. Sorry, Venezuela, 20 years from now for what we did to your water. Okay, last one here. As local papers disappear, student journalists fill the void. And it's a lovely article about how great student journalists are doing, but also the fact that how fucked up is it? We're relying on 17-year-olds to bring a lot of areas of the country their news because we have destroyed news in this country. It has been bought out by a small number of corporations, and now we're like, but 17-year-olds, they got it. They got it covered. They're gonna handle it for us. Literally, they're like a high school newspaper. High school, by the way. I was 17 was too high. I was 15. A high school newspaper in Pittsburgh, Kansas, forced the resignation of the principal after showing his discrepancies in his resume. Another high school editors in Vermont won a censorship battle against their principal. So it's like, we're leaving it to high school students to try and out corruption in the world because we don't have newspapers anymore doing that.